Live 3 miles apart on the Lawrence Corridor in Chicago, it's
Semi-Regular Wednesdays!
It's our 101st remote show with our special guests, Liz Zagone, Amethyst Barron, Yael Schy, Alex Camp, and Olivia Parker. And now, no longer offering the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, Barbershop Bangers.
Woo!
Woo! Well, good evening, everyone. Hope you've all had a good week.
Good evening, Stuart.
Dan, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Good, thank you. Do you notice anything different about
you
my
are
background tonight?
in a different room? I think I see one of our old show posters in the background. I recognize it because I made it.
That's correct. That is an original Dan Anderson artwork.
Yes, it is.
So I basically rearranged my room, my bedroom. This is my de facto bedroom / studio. So I used to be up against the window here, and then because I moved in some of my furniture from Thousand Downers Grove, I basically moved my desk to the other side of the room. So that beige wall that you used to see in the background that had like the calendar and the pennants is now facing me. And then just for posterity, I moved the students poster over there. I have not quite figured out the lighting with this new arrangement yet. I mean, you can see that there is a big surge of light coming from that little lamp in the corner. Just to give you an idea of, just to give you an idea of kind of how the lighting is. Nevertheless, I'm splitting hairs here. For those of you who don't know us, Dan and I are the Flower Shop Bangers. We are an improv duo based out of Chicago. We have been performing together for a little over 8 years. In fact, last Wednesday was our 8th anniversary, and we have been doing remote shows pretty much throughout the entire pandemic, all 13 odd months now. So you are in for a really fun evening. We have acts, we have stand-up comedians, 5 as a matter of fact, from 3 different countries. But Dan, before we get started, if you could say a few words about some of the small businesses that we're supporting, as well as some ongoing fundraisers.
Of course, Stuart. If you look down below, you see a banner that has some rotating images. These are some small businesses and fundraisers we are supporting. So first, there is a GoFundMe organized by the comedian Chris Rudd. Chris Rudd is trying to raise money for people who happen to be contract COVID-19 while at Black Lives Matter's protests. So yeah, you can find a link to the description in there. Second, there is the bar that Stuart and I usually host this show at, and that is Shakers on Clark. Shakers is currently trying to collect tips for their bar staff that they cannot employ at this time. I know they are in the middle of switching locations, as well as I believe trying to obtain their new liquor license for the new location. But they should be hopefully open soon once we're all vaccinated. And, we'd like to, try to also support the people that they can't employ right now. So if you're at home and if you're having an alcoholic beverage, I would definitely recommend that you click that link in the description to get to the Shakers GoFundMe and tip their bar staff. Third, there is a really great Black-owned gym called Bodi Shak. Bodi Shak has really great fitness classes, highly recommended. You can find I provided a link to their website, as well as a link to a GoFundMe if you just want to give directly in the description of the event. Next, there is First Sip Cafe. I was just there yesterday, and they're very friendly and welcoming there. I always love being over there. It's right off the red line at an Asia on Argyle, right off the Argyle stop in Chicago. Really great coffee and tea drinks. Can't really recommend them enough. I have a link in the description to find gift cards. Next, there is the place where Stuart and I study comedy, and that is the Comedy Clubhouse, or the Associated Theater Company, One Group Mind. One Group Mind is currently revamping their theater classes, their comedy classes, and so you can take comedy classes in either improv or stand-up or theatricals. You could do one, you can do two, you can do all three if you want to. As much or as little of comedy as you want. It's for all levels of expertise, anywhere from absolute beginner to artisan, I believe is like what he calls the top level. Yeah, so yeah, if you have any questions about any of those, ask Stuart or I. Also, in between acts, we often like to try to do shout outs, try and, let the performers know that people are watching. So if you would like a shout out, just like the video or comment on it. Whatever you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, we should be able to know who you are. Unless you like the YouTube stream, then we actually don't know who you are. So if you want to remain anonymous, I guess go on YouTube and like it. But if you do want to have your name said out loud, then go on Facebook or comment on YouTube. Yeah, so that's just about all I got. Back to you, Stuart.
Thank you so much. Now, if I'm kind of sitting, I should say, at this angle, I mean, you don't have nearly as much glare, is there? I know that I know. Again, I'm just kind of being anal here with the new setup and everything like that. But I like how I like from this angle. It kind of gives me a little bit of a certain aura, a little bit of mystery, doesn't it?
It does. You do look a little mystical.
Thank you. Nevertheless, we have a wonderful, wonderful show for you this evening. Obviously, closing out the night, our Flower Shop Bangers.
Woo!
Improv set to close out the show right before the Bangers. In Chicago, by way of the West Suburbs, comedian Liz Zagone. Welcome back to the show. Right before Liz, out of Toronto, Canada, Toronto, Ontario, we have Amethyst Barron.
Woo!
Right before Amethyst, out of Washington, D.C., by way of Maryland, we have Olivia Bailey.
Woohoo!
Right before Olivia, out of San Francisco, we have the multi-talented Yael Schy.
Woo!
And now, leading us off this evening is a fascinating fellow. He is a comic who we had originally booked for our All Europe show a week ago Saturday. Yes, we did a show on Saturday. He basically had kind of like a mind fart and he apologized to us, but he was able to record a little something for us. So please put your mics on and put your hands together for Alex Camp.
Woo!
Or should that be Chirac? Because really, Chirac, you're pronouncing the country of Iraq and the town of Chicago both incorrectly. So Chirac would be a better nickname for the city. Although at that point, you're risking getting confused with ex-French Prime Minister, French President, with ex-French President Jacques Chirac. So you don't want that. Nobody wants that. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad to be here, pre-recorded. The time here in England is 15:38, but that doesn't matter because it's pre-recorded. So it's always going to be the time that it is where you are. I'm Alex Camp, and I do comedy, and I do a bit of music too. And I'm British. You might have noticed that. As a Britishman, a lot of people are asking me, "Hey, what do you think about all this royal family business?" And not a lot. Not very much. Prince Philip passed away the other day. An unnamed member of the royal family has expressed concern over what skin color his undead corpse will be. We can only wait until his funeral when it rises from the coffin. Because people are like, why aren't you mourning Prince Philip? And frankly, he's been dead for about 6 years. So I've gone through the mourning process. The rest of you will just drink. Thing is, right, now Prince Philip's dead, I think that we should really talk about the main issue, which is he was definitely the one who said that about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's baby, isn't it? Right? I've got a song about Philip for you. know you I know you did it, it was you, Philip. I know you did it, I know you said it. You questioned the colour of the royal baby. You questioned if the baby might have raised me. You questioned the child. Why do you have to be oh so wild? I'm glad you're dead, I'm glad you're dead, I'm glad you're dead in the ground and dead. I know you did it. It's clear that you said that every year since the child was born. You probably thought that it would be brown. You're a clown. Why'd you have to say things like that? Just because you're old, you can't get away with that. Come on, Philip. Times have changed. When you say things like that, it seems a bit strange. Don't say stuff about a child's race. Why'd you have to say that? Just listen to the bass. Go along to a nightclub, do an E, and go to the pub. Have a bit of fun with your life. Oh shit, I forgot you're dead and you left your wife. That's my song about Philip, and I wrote that. I spent a lot of time with that song, writing that song. So I hope you enjoyed it. Just some samples sitting there. I lived in Chicago for a little while. 2 months was a wonderful, best 2 months of my life. When I say best, I mean the worst. I went out there to visit my friend who had moved there a couple of years before. And the only time that you go and live with your mate for a couple of months is when you've been kicked out by your girlfriend and you've hit rock bottom. Also went, and what time of the year did I choose? I was careful about when I went to Chicago because I knew, a bit about what the city was like and the weather and that kind of thing. So I chose January and February, the most depressing time to be there. It was tough. Here we go, let's go there. Yeah. Let's get the drums on. I'm going to sing about my favorite thing I got in Chicago. The only thing that was good about the trip route. Here we go. My Italian beef. That Italian beef. Dip it in the juice. Italian beef, you're huge, baby. Dip it in the juice. Italian beef, you're huge, baby. Dip it in the juice. Italian beef, you're huge. I went to Al's for an Italian beef. I got my homie Keith to dip it up in the juice. He pulled out the sandwich, put it in the juice. Dipped it down low and he didn't keep it loose. He kept it tight until the beef was drenched. He pulled it out and then he said, "This is hench. It's a big sandwich, so be careful what you do. It's got all kinds of juice and there's small peppers too." I said, "Thanks, Keith. I'll see you next time when I come over in Italian beef. Can I cut the line?" He said, "No, there's no special treatment. All you get is a nice bit of beefment." I left with my tail between my legs. I wouldn't need to eat any eggs because I had all the protein I would ever need. The Italian beef, I think that I could bleed juice. Beefy dripping, I like to see it on my floor sitting over in the puddle. Sometimes I love beef so much I get muddled and confused about the juice. What is the juice? And Keith said, "Shush, don't ask about the juice." So we did. Just come in here and rip a dip. Rip up the and then say thank you very much to me, Keith. I said, okay, Keith, thanks in advance. I'm gonna go eat this in the car and then dance. I couldn't dance after I finished the beef because I couldn't move. I said, oh shit, Keith. Oh shit. Tell you beef is the only thing I care about. Now I'm gonna talk about something else. Here we go. I went to a barbecue on Sunday morning. The sun was coming. I went to Walmart. I put a lot of things in my shopping cart. I got kind of buns, long and thin, sausages, and they were pork and something else. I got peppers too. I got mustard and tomato brew, some sauce with vinegar and sugar. It tastes so good, Heinz. You know you blew it up with that recipe back in the day. Didn't know I rocked up to the barbecue. I saw my homeboy Drew and my girl Sally too. I said, what's up guys? I've got some hot dogs here. They said, get that red stuff out of here. Sauce? Why? Did you tell me in speech or in Morse code? They said we don't know why. Just is I don't like ketchup on my hot dog. It's wrong to do that. Get it out of here, dog. I said, what is left? Just mustard? They said, yeah, brother, you're gonna get busted with that yellow sauce. It tastes really good. I said, I'd rather eat a goddamn piece of wood. That yellow sauce, it ain't even really must. And yellow juice, you gotta dip that stuff in the lovely juice. Dip it in the juice. Dip it in the juice. You got to dip it. Dip it in the juice, baby. It's no use if you don't dip it in juice. Dip it in the juice. It's really no use if you don't dip it in the juice. You got to dip out. Dip it in the juice. Dip it in the juice. That's my song about Chicago. I hope you enjoy the rest of the show, or I hope you enjoyed the stuff before me. I don't know where I am in this lineup, but been great. None of that was real material. I'm just doing stuff, and I love you. Thank you for coming. Goodbye.
Alex Kemp, everyone. Woo-hoo! Thank you so much, Alex. That was delightful wherever you are right now. Well, right now it's 1:19 in the morning in London. So thank you. Oh, also, yes, trying to go for the book. I forgot about that.
Trying to go for what?
The Mystique.
Oh, the Mystique. I gotcha. You got to be that mysterious Stuart Allard. Yeah,
yes,
so
the end is short.
I will go ahead and continue on my next bit as Stuart gets into his own mysterious ways. So I thought I would give the shout outs to people that I see watching. First, there is Michelle Thomas. We've seen her a couple times there. Always good to see her. Mark Romanowski. He watches pretty much every show. He watches at home with his wife, Jordan. Maybe we're on their big screen TV that I know they bought in their new house or condo or whatever they bought recently. She was sharing the pictures. There's Michael J. Astraukis. Thank you for watching. There is Mitch Kessler, our friend at the Comedy Clubhouse, who just comes every comedy show and still comes to them even though they're virtual. Always great to see Mitch. Miss Mitch a lot. Tanya Adesho, she was commenting a lot on these songs, saying these songs should win Grammys and you should dip that Italian beef in the juice. Also, yeah, exactly. And also, my girlfriend that's watching at home, Sally LaRue. Really great to see her too.
Hey, it's Sal. Good to see you, Sal. Also, as it happens, Michael Astrauskas, he'll be part of a improv duo that will be in our show next Wednesday.
There we go.
All right. So before we get to our next comedian, when Dan and I moved our show to Shaker's on Clark in July 2018, we began a 2-man campaign to save Chicago Barprov. So, for the unfamiliar, barprov is a portmanteau for bar improv. I know that's kind of a fancy word for something that's not particularly elegant, but it is essentially free comedy in a bar, but not necessarily limited to stand-up comedy. It is, for lack of a better word, comedy in the most inclusive way. It's it could be improv, but it could also be stand-up, sketch. We've had poetry readings. We used to book burlesque acts, and Flower Shop Bangers came of age during a kind of a golden age for Chicago Barprov, the early mid 2010s, and one by one, maybe just because there were so many of these shows, they started getting canceled. The bars started going out of business. People started just moving in a different direction. But there was a time, as recently as 5 or 6 years ago, where there were shows scattered all over the north side of Chicago. And when we moved to Shakers, not quite 3 years ago, the very concept of barprov definitely had its back against the wall. In fact, at the time of the pandemic, 13 months ago, I think it was down to our show at Shakers and a show over at the Holiday Club in Irving Park Road. It was just the two of us. And obviously, the bars are not completely open yet in Chicago, but in a time we want to keep the Chicago barprov tradition alive, and as an incentive for, just as a way of our audience of letting us know that they're enjoying the show, and as a way of giving back to our performers, we have created this improv tip jar. Ooh, yes, it glows in the light. Yes, I made it myself. It was a whole weekend project. It's made of only imported plastic cup and duct tape. I inscribed it myself, and this is, and yes, there is cash inside the tip jar, cash and change, and it is our way of giving back to our performers. And at the moment, inside the tip jar, we have about hold on, I need to do the math here for a second. About $42.49, which means split 7 ways. All of our performers are going home tonight with $6.07 American.
Woo!
Did not tell any of our performers that this was a paying gig. So if you are enjoying the show, you can go ahead and send us money through the tip jar. My Venmo and Dan's Venmo are right above.
No, they're not yet. 1 second.
Oh,
give me 1 second.
Sorry.
Sorry,
I thought I was rushing myself here.
Now they are.
Okay. Yes. I just thought I just posed like this, like a goon. And yes, please feel free to donate money into the tip jar. Again, Dan and I will split everything 7 ways. Again, at the moment, $42.49, split 7 ways at $6.07. So if you are enjoying the show tonight, please throw a little bit in the tip jar. Just think, if you donate $7 American, that's an additional $1 for each of our performers.
Woohoo!
Without further ado, our next act is a really a kind of a multi-hyphenate, really just a woman who wears many hats. She runs a virtual intergenerational improv class in San Francisco, stand-up comedian. I'm going to assume probably a writer, a painter, a sculptor. If probably runs a portrait studio. Probably does work with like finger paints and all that. It is a pleasure to have in our show, Yael Schy.
Woo! Thank you, Stuart. Okay, so you guys, you might notice if you take a good look here at my gray pandemic hair that I'm just a little bit older than your average stand-up comedian. And you know what? You're right. I just turned 65, and damn it, I'm proud of it. And you might be saying, but Yael, old people can't really be funny, can they? Fuck yeah, get used to it, because we're here. So, we've all been in this global pandemic for over a year, and it's been a terrible year. But here's the thing. The shelter-in-place lockdown has actually been good for 3 groups of people. The first group it's been good for is introverts because, hey, there is no pressure to go out and mingle with people, right? So introverts are happy. The second group is agoraphobics. Now, these are people that have an irrational fear of going outside. No problem. Staying inside nowadays is both fashionable and desirable. So it's good for agoraphobics. Now, the third group that the shelter in place has been good for is those of us with OCD. Now, that is obsessive compulsive disorder, and it's those of us like me who are kind of batshit crazy with weird habits. Yeah, that's me. So why has the pandemic and the shelter in place been good for me as somebody with OCD? Several reasons. First of all, we were told to wash our hands all the time. No problem. I love washing my hands. I wash my hands all the time. You can ask my boyfriend, he thinks it's a bit excessive, but hey, that's me. And it's now I just have to do it more often. Like every time I want to touch my face. Yeah. But hey, I'm good with it. And second of all, the reason why the shelter in place has been good for me is, like many people with OCD, I do have some hoarding tendencies, I have to admit. So, when the pandemic started, my pantry and freezer were already stocked with food that I'd been saving, and I didn't have to go out and go shopping for weeks, which was great. And thirdly, again, because of those hoarding tendencies, when the pandemic started and the supermarket shelves were completely devoid of basic supplies, I went on a treasure hunt and I looked all over my apartment and my garage and my car, and I found not one, not two, but 8 bottles of hand sanitizer. Woo! I am rich, I thought. I could have sold them on the black market. So, sometimes OCD comes in handy. And the only thing is, the one thing that I should have hoarded but didn't, you know what I'm talking about, right? Toilet paper. Yeah, I wasn't smart enough to hoard that. And, I came up with some creative solutions because if, like me, you weren't smart enough to get a bidet before they were completely sold out, at the beginning of the pandemic, you had to come up with alternatives to TP. So here's one, those CVS receipts that are really, really long. Now, I don't know if you have CVS in other parts of the country, but this is what the receipts look like. Oh boy, do those come in handy sometimes. And second of all, pages from the piles and piles of old New Yorker magazines that I just haven't been able to bring myself to get rid of. You can tear out those pages and they come in handy. And the third thing that you could possibly do, I won't tell you if I've tried it yet, is you can become a nudist from the waist down and just air dry. Because when you're on Zoom, as long as you stay seated, nobody's going to see that, right? You go au natural. And I also developed some new hobbies during the pandemic. I've been learning how to play the piano, taking online lessons. Cool. I learned how to watch Netflix. I know this sounds weird, but I actually hadn't watched Netflix before the pandemic. I was busy doing stuff, going out, right? And third, I have a brand new hobby, and that is harvesting my belly button lint and knitting a sweater out of it for the winter. So, new hobbies. That's a positive. And you might not know that, according to health experts, the U.S. was hit by COVID-19 harder than other countries because of a variety of risk factors and pre-existing conditions, the most notable of which was the prior resident of the Oval Office. Yeah, but we're done with that now. Yeah, quite a pre-existing condition there. So here's the thing, though. The federal government in the U.S., they did do a few things right at the beginning of the pandemic. So one thing they did was they actually issued guidelines on how to have safe sex during a pandemic. Can you believe that? They thought of everything. So here's what they said, and I quote, they said, "Your safest sex partner is yourself." So, hey, that is super good news because number one, you can save a ton of money by canceling your Tinder subscription, right? And when you're asked asking for consent when you're dealing with yourself, you get a swipe right every single time and get consent. I mean, you're not going to refuse yourself, right? And second of all, you don't have to social distance 6 feet from yourself unless you want to use a selfie stick. And I don't know about you, but that sounds awkward and probably painful. And the third thing that's good about having your own self as a sex partner is we finally have government sanction to do what we've all been doing all along anyway. Yay. And now we're just being patriotic. And now we can do it 24/7 because, hey, we haven't got anything else to do, right? Now, there are some caveats about being your own sex partner. So I want to warn you. Number one, you must remember to turn off your Zoom camera. Yeah. I'm talking to you, Jeffrey Toobin. You should have left that tube in your pants. Yeah. So, don't get caught with that. Check that before you start. Number two, emergency room doctors have been seeing a spike in severe carpal tunnel due to what they're now calling pandemic wanking syndrome. Yeah, it's a problem. Some people have been a little too energetic in following the CDC guidelines. And third of all, if you're having your own self as a sex partner, if the sex is really bad, you only have yourself to blame. Yeah. Unlike your ex, right? Now, fortunately, the CDC also says that the next best thing to being your own sex partner is having just one other exclusive partner. Okay? Provided that, again, 3 things. Number one, you must wash your hands, both of you, both before and afterwards. That's just good common sense, even before the pandemic, people. Secondly, you both have to wear masks the whole time. So I'm sorry, folks, but forget about oral sex. Not going to happen. Mask up. And third, you and your partner have to stay at least 6 feet apart the entire time. So now, you know what? We're going to find out which of those guys were telling the truth about how long their dicks are. Yeah. So that's my perspective on the pandemic, and that's my time. I'm Yael Schy, and stay safe out there, everyone.
Woohoo! Yael Schy, everybody! Right. Dan, any updates on the live feed?
Yeah, sure. I see a few people giving us some new comments, which we always appreciate. I see Tanya Adesho says yes, with the multiple A's. You always have to gauge people's excitement by how many A's they put in yes. And then Michelle Thomas says hello, FSB. So hi, Michelle. It's great to see you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And we sincerely appreciate Michelle. Also, if you have missed any part of the show so far, do not worry. This whole show will be saved and archived on the Flower Shop Bangers Facebook page right after this show ends, which will be somewhere around 8:20, 8:30 Chicago time this evening, 6:20, 6:30 for you West Coasters. So before we get to our next deck, I do have a quick announcement to make. Dan and I have recently scaled our show back to Wednesdays, just Wednesdays, once a week. But we've also promised that we're going to be doing a longer show on Wednesdays. And not only that, I feel like with some of our upcoming shows, I feel like we've upped the ante quite a bit. Because we have a couple of very interesting interview guests coming up in May. So on Wednesday, May 5th, that's going to be our all mom show. We just call it The Mother. It just so happens all of the comics in the show happen to be moms. Our special guest is going to be New Yorker cartoonist Emily Flake. Flake is an author. She's written a couple of graphic novels. I've been reading The New Yorker for years, so I'm really looking forward to kind of picking her brain about what goes on, in the walls of Condé Nast publications. I've never had a conversation with a New Yorker cartoonist before, so I don't know what, I don't know if the cartoonists socialize. I don't know if, maybe she has any stories about any of the other cartoonists, but I'm looking forward to that. I mean, if not necessarily for me, then for everyone else out there. And then 2 weeks after that, on Wednesday, May 19th, our special guest, first of all, it's going to be our all Minnesota show. It's another one of our geography themed shows, and our special guest is going to be Mary Jo Peel from Mystery Science Theater 3000. She's going to be doing stand-up, and we're going to ask her some Pearl Forrester questions. So please make sure to check that out. Again, we do this every Wednesday at 7 Central, and we are always grateful to everyone who tunes in and everyone who donates to the tip jar as well. Notice how it glistens in the light there.
Woo! Mm-hmm.
Yes. Without further ado, our next comic is originally from the Chesapeake Bay of Maryland, but is now based in Washington, D.C. She was a kind of a last minute addition to the show. We did have a comic that had to back out on 24 hours notice yesterday. Because I know some of you were expecting to see Suz Ballout. We'll have Suzanne again very soon. Nevertheless, please give a hearty welcome to our show, Olivia Bailey.
Woohoo!
So this is my first Zoom show, so I'm just kind of gonna read from my book and repeat some bits. Hopefully anybody out there is like laughing, I would think. So public speaking is the number one fear for most people, and that fear comes before death for most people. So that is to say, if we were all at one big funeral, most people would rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. I'm looking for a job in DC, so I've been putting in a lot of job applications, and I've been working at the same coffee shop for 2 years before I moved here. So I kind of forgot how dumb job applications are. I took this one, you know how sometimes they give you job application tests? I took this one that was like a 4x4 square, and it had shapes and letters, and it said, if the top row has a shape that has 4 or more sides, and the bottom row has a letter that comes in between A and A. I'm just trying to work at a coffee shop. I worked at Dunkin' Donuts for and my opinion on fast food jobs is that it paints black spray paint. Oh shit.
Just so everyone knows, we appear to be experiencing some technical difficulties with Olivia. Olivia, we'll give you a second to, we have to pause you for a second, but we are having some difficulties on her end. Just a reminder that we do still have the tip jar, that we do this every Wednesday at 7. Olivia, are you good now?
I have no clue what just happened.
Oh, okay.
I have no, maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a sign that I shouldn't be performing.
Oh. Oh, well, we would love to hear the rest of your bits, Olivia.
I would love to say them. If my thing gets cut out again, then it does. But so anyway, where was I? I was talking about Dunkin' Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
I worked there for 2 years, and my opinion of fast spray paint over your third eye, like if a customer would ask me, "Oh, how are you?" and I'd be like, I'm a cog in the machine, except the cogs are donuts and the oil is coffee. And if America runs on Dunkin', can I really carry all that weight on my shoulders? That's how I felt. Except my internet connection is unstable. So if I get cut out during this next story, I apologize, because it's a very good story. A couple months ago, I saw a psychic for the first time. And the thing is, no one ever really goes to a psychic when their life is good. They only really go when they're having a crisis. So I was having a crisis, so I went to go see this psychic. And the way that a psychic can get you is through the power of association. So she gave me a tarot card reading, which is your past, present, and future. And she would flip over a card and be like, I see that your dad is worried about you. And I'd be like, how did you know? And she'd flip over another card and be like, I see this woman in your life who was very important to you. And I'd be like, how did you know that I was a little bit she flipped over another card and she saw a field of swords and she said, I see a curse on your family. And I said, how did you know that my mom has cancer?
Oh.
She quickly picked up this opportunity to say, I can remove this curse on your family. I can put your mom's cancer into remission. She said, for $325, which is a hefty price to pay. Of course, you already know what I said to this proposition, considering that I'm telling this story right now. I said yes to the psychic and the curse removal. It started when she gave me a notebook with the barcode sticker still on the back, and she had me write down all the names of people I wanted to protect from this curse. And then she pulled out from her drawer. She didn't even do a spell. Which I was expecting some sort of spell, like some sort of hocus pocus, but she didn't even do that. She pulled out a bottle of some bottles of liquids that were about that big, and she said, okay, you rub these on your body after you take a shower, and then like this bag of powder, you sprinkle it on the inside of your doorways. And I was like, okay, if I'm gonna pay $300 for some shower gel, I'm gonna use it. So I did what she said. And a few days later, my mom had come home from the hospital, so I guess you could say that it worked, which is crazy. That's my psychic story. But another interesting fact about me is that I vape, which isn't very interesting, but non-smokers are the reason that I smoke. Because they're like vegans, they really push it into you. I mainly like vaping because it takes me back to the good old days when cigarettes were allowed inside. So for the rest of my set, I have some one-liners that I wrote, some like little tiny tidbits, and I'm gonna fire them at you kind of quickly. I hope you enjoy them. So to start out with, I look like I get too much sleep and not enough sleep at the same time. I get about 8 hours of sleep a day and about 10 at night. I'm 5'3", -6 foot on a good day, the best day. I bought a dresser from Craigslist and I was very upset because it didn't work. I got out of the shower and stood in front of the dresser for about 10 minutes, and at the end of the 10 minutes, I still wasn't dressed. If I gave my dog a Reese's cup, he would die happy. If vapes are electronic cigarettes, then cigarettes are like acoustic vapes. The lap is one of the few body parts that can disappear. And that's all I have for tonight. But thank you. Oh, and my Instagram is OB_comedy. If you want to follow me, I have a lot better videos on there, like live videos. So if you like this, then you're sure to love what's on my Instagram. Thank you.
Olivia Bailey, everyone! Thank you. And do find her on Instagram at OB_comedy. Thank you so much, Olivia, and we're glad that you were able to persevere with that set. We really appreciate it. Technical difficulties happen to the worst of us. I mean, I've certainly had my share tonight. Dan, any updates on the live feed? Any questions, arguments, grievances, concerns?
You know, I'm appreciating these comments from Tanya Dasho. She's saying she just filled out that type of application when, Olivia made that joke about filling out job applications, and apparently they're both 5'3", so
Hey.
yeah.
I think 5'3". I think of Muggsy Bogues for some reason.
I mean, he was about 5'3", wasn't he?
Yep, he was and not only that, but the shortest player in NBA history.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yep, exactly 63 inches. So obviously,
And he was in
regular-
Space Jam, so
That's right. He
let the
was in
record
Space
show,
Jam.
yeah.
That night gag with I think it was George Marason,
Mhm.
the one where they go through the doorway. Or am I thinking of a different?
I'm sure that's a scene in the movie where I'm sure there's a doorway in the movie. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. They're all walking through a doorway, and oh well, I digress. I mean, I don't think I've seen a movie from beginning to end since like 1997. But I digress. And I probably will go see the new Legacy movie though too. So Summit Regular Wednesdays, Flash Shot Bangers. That is clearly a two-man passion project for Dan and myself. But it just so happens I also happen to run a comedy page in my own right. Now, I'm not sure if you can tell from the mystique or the glare from the light, but I happen to run a Facebook page called Stu News. That's at facebook.com/Stu News. It's basically my quick takes on stuff that's going on in the news. There's a story, and I'll make a wise ass comment about it. I'm on the verge of 1,900 likes, so if you're looking for some quick takes and stuff going on in the news, if you're just looking for comedy on Facebook, please like and share my page. Please like and share what I post. It would mean a whole lot to me. Heck, let's see. If, right now, I think I'm at about 1876. So, hey, what if I got 24 likes tonight? Woo. And that's facebook.com/Stu News. Or if Facebook is not your thing, you can also find it on Twitter at HeyStu818. Our next comic is originally from Toronto, Ontario, and is doing a free online comedy workshop with Flamingo Market and Glad Day TV on Saturday, May 15th. I believe that's at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so 2:30 Central. Really phenomenal comedian. It is a pleasure to welcome to our show, Amethyst Barron.
Thank you. So I'm Amethyst Barron, and I'm Canadian, but both of my parents were Catholics from Northern Ireland. So they survived the Troubles. If you're not familiar with the term the Troubles, it refers to a nationalistic conflict in Ireland that lasted several decades, might be starting again, and was very, very violent. My uncle Kevin was actually killed on Bloody Sunday, which is a famous massacre that most people think is just a catchy U2 song. Thanks, Bono. So for me, I find the term the Troubles to be just a little bit of an understatement. But it is, however, what I personally like to call my parents' nearly 2-decade-long divorce, custody, and child support battle. Those are fun times. In addition to being Irish and Catholic, my father was an alcoholic police officer. That's kind of a mouthful, so we just called him the stereotype for short. My dad's favorite child got spoiled with fancy food, expensive toys, and weekly trips to the cottage. Never complaining about our dad's alcoholism really paid off for my dog. I've been doing stand-up for about 4 years now, and I've noticed that I do especially well when there are really problematic people in the audience. It's just nice to know that if things are ever going very badly for me in comedy, I can always just invite my family to a show. In 2019, my mom traveled back to Ireland, and she asked me to find CBD cream for my aunt's arthritis. I totally did it. My only concern was the Irish border guards, and unfortunately, they did not catch her. Don't feel too sorry for my mom. I think I was 5 or 6 years old when she told me that I was too fat to take ballet classes. It's just too bad no one ever told her she was too cold to be a mother.
Ooh.
When there's not a pandemic, I am a pet sitter, which means that I sometimes get to walk puppies. Sounds so adorable, right? Actually, walking a puppy is a lot like walking a drunk person home. They zigzag all over the place. They try to interact with literally everyone that passes, and they may stop at any time to urinate. I'm actually super allergic to dogs, but their cuteness makes me override my own biology just to be around them. Similarly, I find most masculinity to be toxic, but I still identify as a bisexual. Stop being so cute, men. Dogs are fun. Dogs are still fun, yeah. So I'm also non-binary, and I have been for probably 5 years now. I don't know. But I haven't told my mother that yet. You see, she's really into the whole gender binary thing. So I want to be considerate. I want to be thoughtful about it. And I'm just really saving it for like a really special occasion for her. My roommate recently moved out, so my partner and I have the whole house to ourselves for a while. You know what that means. We can get freaky wherever we want. And we will. I can dissociate into a traumatic flashback anywhere. As a disabled person, I sometimes find routine tasks like self-care really exhausting. For example, sometimes I'm exhausted after only a few hours of masturbation. Speaking of which, the handle on my newest vibrator looks just like my hand blender. But now I really, really love making soup. I actually stopped masturbating just long enough to write that joke. Sometimes jokes just come to you. I am in a polyamorous relationship with a really amazing man. And if I'm being honest, we fuck like rabbits. Our rabbits specifically, we're responsible pet owners, so they're always spayed and neutered, and that's basically never. So I've been thinking recently about how like sex can kind of be like stand-up comedy at sometimes. So sex is a little bit that I'm working on. Sex is kind of like stand-up comedy. I'm always really eager to find out how I've done. Sex is kind of like stand-up comedy. It's definitely more embarrassing with an audience, but it's also a lot more exciting. Sex is kind of like stand-up comedy. Laughter is expected. Applause is great, but it really usually only lasts 3 to 7 minutes. You can tell I've mostly dated men. So I am on a lot of dating apps trying to meet femmes and non-binary folks to date, but I actually have such little luck that the only notifications I ever get are letting me know my account's being shut down for inactivity. Yeah, that's just true. I'm not sure why I have no luck with femmes. I don't know about you, but I think I'd look rather strapping with the strap on. I'm almost positive it's because I say things like that. By now, you may have figured out that I'm crazy. You'd be correct. I see a therapist, but clearly not often enough. That's why I'm also doing this. I'm really happy to say, though, I've been working with my therapist a lot, and I've been gaining a lot of self-confidence lately. Unfortunately, it's mostly like just around the midsection here. Does anybody know, is it still transference if I'm just imagining that my therapist is a better therapist? I studied psychology in university, and I really think I would have made a great psychiatrist because I love judging people silently. I have severe social anxiety, which makes dating really awkward for me. I get really sweaty palms, a racing heart, and uncontrollable tremors on the first date. It all goes away eventually, but by the time we have sex, I probably seem relatively bored. I also have severe PTSD, which basically means that I have really horrible flashbacks and nightmares. But I'm Canadian, so I also get access to tons of cool pills. My psychiatrist actually prescribed so many medications that I recently had to upgrade my pill organizer into a spice rack. I really, really hate hospitals, but at least there's always like one good thing. However you manage to leave, you're going to a better place. Thank you. That's my time.
Amethyst Barron, everyone. Thanks so much, Amethyst. So are you originally from Toronto proper? Now I know you mentioned your parents are from Northern Ireland, but did you grow up in Toronto?
I like the suburbs of Toronto. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So are we talking like York? Are we talking Mississauga? Are we talking
Mississauga and Thornhill?
Okay. I mean, I kind of know the area. I visited Toronto. Goodness, I was like a sophomore in college. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to go back someday. And hey, you know, if Dan and I ever end up in Canada, we'll make sure to hook you up, or at least make sure to. No, I mean, we'll make sure to connect. Make sure we drop by and say hi. All right, Amethyst Barron, everyone.
Sorry you went to Mississauga though.
Absolutely, yeah. If you come to Chicago, yeah, all the better. Hopefully we'll have our show back on stage by then. All right, Dan, any updates?
Yeah, so Tanya Desho seems to be giving us a lot of these comments. She's saying, shit dads make great comedy. And, you know, we couldn't agree more. Yeah, I also thought I'd say that if you're at home and if you're watching and if you're like, hey, I like the show, I want to watch these guys next time they do their show, they put together a good show. You can either like the Flower Shop Bangers on Facebook or you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Either works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think we just passed 600 likes, didn't we, Dan?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and again, if you've missed any part of the show so far, this whole show will be saved and archived on the Flower Shop Bangers Facebook page. If you don't know where that is, just go to flowershopbangers.com and then just click on the Facebook link. Mm-hmm. Easy as that. Without further ado, our final comic of the evening is originally from the west suburbs of Chicago. It is a pleasure to welcome back Liz Zagone.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Yeah, my name is, I'm broadcasting from my car right now. I just step out of another show. So comedians in cars telling jokes, truly. My name is Liz Zagone, or as the boys from high school used to call me, Jiz Zamboni. Zamboni because it rhymes with Zagone, and then Jiz because I was a slut. Stuart, you mentioned I'm from the northwest suburbs. Which is why, like, I can't say I'm from Chicago when I'm in Chicago. Last night I was in Wisconsin doing a show. I could say I was from Chicago, but like my whole family grew up here. My parents were born and raised. My grandparents were born and raised. They still live in the city. But city kids have a real issue when suburban kids say they're from Chicago. And I remember I learned that the hard way. I was at a show and I was like, I'm Liz, I'm from Chicago. And this middle-aged woman stands up out of the audience and goes, nice try, bitch. You got suburbs written all over you. I was like, Ma, stop. You're embarrassing me. I can't believe weed's been legal in Illinois, in Chicago for over a year now. I still haven't been to any dispensaries. And my coworker, he like couldn't believe it. And I was like, look at me. I've never paid for drugs in my life. I'm not going to start now. During the pandemic, I was like trying to not go to the grocery store, but also be like better for the environment, take my own health into better consideration. So I started using this service called Imperfect Produce. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. If you have not, what it is, they take all the ugly produce that they can't sell in the stores and they deliver it to your house at a discounted rate, which is awesome because instead of these fruits and vegetables getting thrown out in a dumpster behind Mariano's, they get thrown out in my garbage can at home. And I'll tell you the issue I have with it is you have to order your produce on Monday, but it won't get delivered until Thursday. It's like, I am not the same person I was on Monday. Right? Like Monday, Liz, I'm like, all right, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to work out. My body is a temple. Thursday, Liz, I'm like, burn it down. We'll start again next week. And it's hard because like, it's not appetizing to use ugly produce, right? Like you'll get avocados and they're like this big. They're like size of golf balls, right? It's like all scars on the outside, all pit on the inside. And you're stuck with like a monster horse cock of a zucchini. It's like, that is not going to fit in my veggetti. If you don't know what a veggetti is, it's a kitchen tool that turns vegetables into spaghetti. I'm kidding. It's what I call my vagina. I recently adopted a dog, which has been exciting. I adopted a dog. It started off I was fostering her, but I failed, which sounds like a bad thing, but it's actually a good thing. A foster fail. Sounds like I killed my dog, but really it just means I took our relationship to the next level. And she's the best. She's this cute little pit bull. She's white and has freckles all over. She's really strong, but nice and small, like a compact body of a gymnast, which includes the unwanted physical touch because she was a puppy mill mom. That wasn't her choice. And I know she was a mom. I know they sold off all her puppies and they dropped her off at the shelter because she has the dangliest nipples I've ever seen. On an animal or a human. They're so long. She'll slide off my bed and they just drag behind her like flaps at a car wash. I know. She shakes and they get all tangled up. And she does this really cute thing where she lays on her back and she has all of her paws in the air and she like wiggles side to side because she wants belly pets. So I get down there and I rub her belly. It's like trolley gummy worms in between my fingers because they're so sour. I know. And she's great. I'm excited because like I grew up with dogs, but I've never like had a dog of my own. And the only pet I've had of my own has been my pet snake. And usually when I tell people I have a pet snake, I follow it up with, but not in a white trash way. Which, like I mentioned, I was at the show last night in Wisconsin, and I was like, oh yeah, my pet snake. Anyone else? And 4 people raised their hands. I was like, this has never happened. And I was like, yeah, I don't own my snake in a white trash way. And they're all like, wait, what? They were white trash. But like my snake, it's like not white trash. Just like I went through a weird phase in 3rd grade. You know, like I was like really into reptiles for a while. Like. The kind of weird where I was like born at home and breastfed way too long. And like your mom would let you be friends with me, but we could only hang out at your house. Like that kind of weird. And my snake this November, he'll be 21 years old. I bet you guys didn't know snakes could live for 21 years.
Wow.
Because my parents sure didn't. Yeah, my snake, he lives with my parents, and he like I was obsessed with him when I was little though. So like I would bring his skin to school after he would shed. Like I'd bring it in for show and tell, and I would sew him little outfits, believe it or not.
Aw.
Mostly tube tops. And I would wear him around my neck and we would just hang out around the house, which is actually how I first discovered that I like getting choked. My safe word is anaconda. I'm kidding. That'd be way too obvious. It's Vegetti. And like I said, my snake lives with my parents because I'm a deadbeat snake mom. And the reason that I don't have him at my apartment is because I'm too afraid of mice to feed him. So my dad has to do it. And if you've never seen a snake eat, it's really cool. You drop the mouse in and the snake strikes and kills it. Then once it's dead, he slowly uncoils his body. He unhinges his jaw. He lets the mouse slide down his throat real slow. Like he has no gag reflex at all. Just like his mom. I recently, so I worked in the service industry for a very long time. I was a server. I've been a bartender since I was 21. And I didn't get into bartending because I like people. I got into bartending because I watched Coyote Ugly way too much growing up. I was like, I can show my belly and dance on the bar. Sign me up. But I recently went through a career change. I decided I wanted something else. So I became a doula. If you don't know what a doula is, it's someone who provides emotional and physical support for a mom when she's having a baby. And I make all my clients call me Paula Abdullah. Because if you've ever watched American Idol, you know that she is the most supportive person in the room. And much like Paula Abdul, I also love getting fucked up on pills. To get certified as a doula, you have to like read a bunch of books. So my apartment's covered in these like pregnancy and childbirth books, which really freaked out my boyfriend the first time I brought him home. We were like making out in my bed and he picks up this book called The Birth Partner off my nightstand and he's like, Liz? I was like, oh my God, no, it's not yours. And I learned something really cool, which is the way a woman gives birth is the way a woman gives birth is an exaggerated version of how she orgasms. So say a woman is like very vocal or, screams, cries, moans, swears, whatever, when she's coming, it's just going to be super intensified when she has her baby, which has me worried because I'm like, oh my God, if I ever have children of my own, how am I going to fake a whole pregnancy? I also do a significant amount of postpartum doula work, which is it's like you take care of the mom and the baby after the baby's been born. Very similar to a babysitter or a nanny, except we don't have our own porn category yet. Is that? I don't know if that's my time. Is that my time?
Yes, it was, Liz.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. It's been so
You're very
fun.
welcome, Liz Zagone, everybody. Thank you so much, Liz. We sincerely appreciate it. And don't feel too bad. I mean, you are hardly the first comic we've had in our show that was doing a set in our car. So we appreciate you took the time to do this. And I have to remember you're from the northwest suburbs, not the west suburbs. I was gonna say, did you grow up closer to Elgin or Crystal Lake?
I'm from Mount Prospect, so just past O'Hare.
Oh, okay. All right. So closer than I thought. Okay, Mount Prospect. All right. That's some college place from Mount Prospect. But I digress. Dan, one last check-in on the live feed. See if anyone has any comments or concerns.
Yeah, so I thought I'd give a shout out to a new person actually watching us, Dennis Episcopo. Always good to see
Hey!
him. He's saying the show's sick. He shared the show, so maybe we have more viewers just because of him. I don't know. Other people could like it. Maybe I'll give you a shout out right now. But anyway, yeah. So Tanya Desho is still, doing her thing and commenting. She's saying, "Oh goodness, you're so funny." So great set, Liz.
Oh, thank you. And Tasha, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to like and follow the Flower Shop Bangers Facebook page for more information about our shows. Again, we do this every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Chicago time. If I don't have an opportunity to do this before our last act, I just want to take a second to thank all of our performers tonight. I want to thank Liz and Amethyst and Olivia and Yael and Alex. We sincerely thank you. We can't do this show without you. Dan, obviously, thank you for being our tech guy, for everything that you do. Of course, you're most welcome. And again, we've made it to 101 shows, if you can believe it. And next Wednesday will be number 102. And our special guest coming back from our All Massachusetts show, Matt Kay. Plus we'll have Ange Buxton, Chris Crawford, Helene Witt, and improv from the Charmers Duo.
Woo!
I have to say, that sounds like a pretty stacked show, Dan.
Sounds like it.
Also, I don't mean to rush Dan on this, but you can also still donate to the improv tip jar. Notice how it glistens in the light.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. Without further ado, your final act of the evening recently celebrated their 8th anniversary. They are an improv duo based out of Chicago, who until 13 months ago were hosting the show at Shakers on Clark, 31 North Clark, in the Wrigleyville Boys Town area. They have performed in improv festivals in cities as exotic and far-flung and far away as Omaha, Nebraska, St. Louis, Missouri, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Baltimore, Maryland. Please welcome Flower Shop Bangers.
Woo! Woo!
Woo! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Flower Shop Bangers. As Stuart said, you can still donate to the tip jar. You can see our Venmos above. You can, it says donate to one who's funnier because it's a competition now. Really, all of it just gets donated, split amongst the 7 performers that we had tonight. And that is, that's it. So without further ado, we are the Flower Shop Bangers. We're going to do some improv for you, and we get weird with it. And so here we are.
Here we are.
And here we are. It's a great, and it's a great dilemma, isn't it? I can't believe that we've encountered it.
Oh yeah, we found the Bigfoot.
We did find the Bigfoot. It is here.
Yes.
It is somewhere. I don't know where though. You have to think like the Bigfoot to find the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, I think I don't know.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I think the Bigfoot is. I like to think it's not smart, but maybe it is smart. Maybe I'm underestimating it. I don't know how to think like it.
Yeah, it's probably a real clever creature.
Yeah. It's You see, that's kind of the problem. No one knows who it is, what it is, why it is. No one knows how it gets blurry when you take a video of it. I don't know, Nigel.
Oh, I get it. I get it. I had some skepticism about you, because you're this fancy British guy, and of course, you picked up on the fact that my name's Nigel.
Yeah, name.
It's a pretty really good name. I mean, I had ancestors named Nigel; it's a family name. But you know your stuff. I am actually really rather impressed.
Yeah, you're rather impressed. Impressed.
Yeah, I mean, you bring this whole documentary crew here. We're driving around out in the woods looking for the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Well, this Sasquatch.
Well, you see, I know it's not been done before. Several people have tried to make a
of course
successful documentary on Bigfoot, but
Yeah.
No one's done it.
Yeah, I mean, all we're looking for is an 8-foot tall hairy guy that lives in the woods.
Yes, yes, yes. 8 foot tall. You know, he's probably about, I would guess, 400 pounds, you think?
I would suppose that makes sense.
400,
I would
400,
say
yeah.
400 pounds, so he's got a little bit of meat on him.
I mean, they do call him the missing link, so this could be a great scientific discovery if we do it. And,
Oh yeah, I mean, let me find a different part of the woods here.
yeah. It is one of those things. You think I'm crazy? Because, you know, we do have a docky on the line.
We got a documentary. You got that right.
No, I mean a docky, like the award.
Oh, the docky. Yeah,
The award for documentaries. Yes,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought that was the British slang term for documentary.
Yeah, no. In Britain, we do have the dockies. They are the award for the best documentaries. And yes,
okay.
yes.
Are you gonna wear your dickie for your docky?
A dickie? What's a dickie?
Oh, it's like a plastic bow tie thing you wear over like a suit.
No. Dreadful. No. You see, everyone back home thinks I'm crazy for trying to do this.
Oh, don't listen to them. I mean, you're just following your own path.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I personally, I think I've got to screw loose myself, so don't feel too bad about it.
You got to screw loose yourself. You think you're crazy?
No, it's like I spent all this time out in the woods. You know, it's like I mean, I know this forest preserve like the back of my hand. So,
well, you see, like, why do people tell you you're crazy? For me, it's just, you know, they think this, they just know I believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah, well, I mean, I grew up out east, and I grew up in a city, and when I told people, I want to be one with nature, people just kind of give me this weird look.
One with nature.
One with nature. One with nature. Yeah.
You want to be absorbed into the world? You want to be
I think honestly, I think I read Walden when at too young an age. That's the problem.
Walden? Or like...
Yep. Henry David Thoreau? Yeah.
How old were you?
12.
That's pretty young.
Young. I mean, that's intense, life-changing stuff when you're a sixth grader.
Yeah, I would have thought you would have thought maybe you would say like Jack London.
I read some of that Jack London too. I definitely read Call of the Wild.
White Fang.
White Fang, yeah, definitely the White Fang. But for some reason, that whole book with Thoreau basically just hiding out in a hut, in his mom's backyard. It's just something that makes you think, Yeah, I can kind of relate to this guy. It's like I like nature and I like solitude.
That does seem very American of you, if you don't mind me saying.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, it's it's like every square foot of this country is developed now. There's no frontier. It's like if you go out in the woods, I mean, it's got to be like a state forest or a national forest or some sort of wildlife preserve or something. I mean, there's a
for them to just preserve it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a price tag on every inch of land around these parts. Yeah.
That is a crying shame.
It really is. It really is. I'm sure, I'd love to see the British countryside someday.
I mean, it's pretty much the same. There are houses, there are trees, there are things. We do get some land, but we do get some, wildlife, but...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's straight out Beatrix Potter, right?
I mean, if it's habitable, it's habited.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
You never said what part of England you were from.
Liverpool.
I was gonna say, you don't have that Scouse accent.
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
Spent a little bit of time here, a little bit there, but was only there till I was about 3 years old.
I was gonna say.
I mean, so I say from. When you say from, I usually think like that's where you were born.
Right. And I just, I was gonna say, I felt like I was getting maybe like a little bit of, a little bit of a London vibe.
Yes,
but yeah, but just a little bit. just but with Scouse, it's
Yeah.
like you got that's kind of where the British and the Irish kind of overlap, and they got I don't know what we should do, Ringo. That kind of talking.
Oh yes, yes. But you see,
Mhm.
also I've been back and forth with America so much, I feel like I'm losing it.
Oh, I understand. It's
Mhm.
like man, I spent some time in Southern Ontario, doing like a wildlife documentary, something like that.
Mhm.
Again, because that's
Oh, so you make documentaries yourself?
well, I mean, I've helped out on documentaries. I mean, I'm no virgin here, but yeah, I mean, I was oh man, I was somewhere off Yonge Street, pretty much on my way to the Hudson, and yeah, after a certain point, it's like, oh, you want to get some you want to go to the Tim Hortons and get some Timbits, eh?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
Oh, donuts.
Oh yeah, Tim
Donuts.
Hortons is the shit, man. I
Mm.
mean, they run laps around the Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta go for some Timbits. I mean, the amazing coffee, the breakfast sandwiches.
Sounds delightful.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it's too bad you can't really find too many of that in the US. It's like you gotta drive like fucking Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yes. Or Grand Rapids.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
That's right. Yeah, you probably go to Grand Rapids. Yeah, maybe somewhere in between, maybe like around Lansing, East
Yeah,
Lansing.
yes. But
Yeah.
sometimes there are the independent shops.
I mean, the little mom and pop joints, they're not bad, but man, it's like if I'm out in that neck of the woods, I'm gonna put the Google search on for a Tim Hortons. I mean, come on.
Yes. Well, I guess it is true. When you get the Tim Hortons, you kind of get what you're getting.
Yeah. And wait, stop.
What?
Stop.
What? What's going on? Wait, do you think we see him?
Footprints? You hear like something walking?
I think I do.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta stop the scar for a second. Okay, I feel like
Gotta
right.
stop the what? Did you? Wait, you didn't? Would you stop?
The car.
Oh, the car. Okay, sorry.
The car this whole damn time.
Gotcha. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I thought you were gonna stop the camera.
Say no more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, but no, I mean, I could just hear like these like loud footprints, like with the engine on.
You can hear footprints.
I can hear footprints. I can hear.
How do you hear footprints?
Footsteps.
Okay, gotcha. I'm sorry.
Here. I mean, we might be like, I don't know, 20 fucking feet from Bigfoot.
Yes, I gotcha.
Yes. I mean, where's your camera? I mean, good God.
Oh,
I mean,
sorry. Yes, I should turn it down. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, how much weed did you smoke? I mean,
how much weed did I smoke? I smoked a little bit. I mean, I guess yes. It's.
All right. Well, that must have been like some potent shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know my strains, but all right. Okay. I think I heard the footsteps coming from my left.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Holy fuck, it's him.
It's him.
Oh my fucking God.
And it's
Oh
crystal
my
clear.
fucking God. Huh. I mean, please make sure you're recording this.
I'm recording it right now. Oh my God.
He doesn't seem that savage a creature, honestly.
No, he doesn't. He like I is it crazy? Like, should I offer him a beer? Am I crazy? I feel like I could drink a beer. I don't know. I maybe he's picked up on some English just by virtue of being around people or people trying to find him.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try it. I just
here's a beer. Yeah,
all right, there's a beer. There's a beer. I'm gonna open the window now.
Okay, yeah. I'll. All right, here you go. I'll let
Yeah,
you handle
here's.
it. Hey, guy. Hey.
Yeah, you're giving it to him. Okay, gotcha.
Here you go. It's okay. Drink up. I even opened up for you. There you go.
Oh my God. He just took the beer.
He took the beer.
He took the beer.
He took the beer. Wow, and now he's just walking away.
Yeah.
He was basically just out here in the woods for a beer run.
Wait, what? You is that what he does? That's why he comes out, just to get the beer from any passerby who happens to be trying to make a documentary of him.
I guess so. He just had a beer. He just kept sipping it, and then just kind of casually walked away.
What?
Yeah. All right. Here's what we gotta do. We come back here tomorrow night. Make sure we have a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure it's not like I just gave him like an MGD. Maybe let's do something fancy. Maybe we could actually like just time down. Maybe we could like talk to him. Because clearly he has the sentience to know what beer is.
Yes. I can see that.
Maybe let's go to like the nearest liquor store. We're gonna buy him like a porter or maybe like an IPA. Maybe like.
Ooh, you're getting fancy. You think he has like taste?
Yes. I'm thinking Bigfoot's kind of picky.
Mm.
That was a 12-ounce can of beer. I'm sure. Come on, look at him. He's 8 fucking feet tall. He's probably pushing 400 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell he's got a little bit of a belly.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking, we gotta come back here, maybe, yeah, why not give him another beer? Oh,
it's worth a shot.
Wait, turn the camera back on. Turn the camera back on.
What? Oh, it's on. He's back. Oh my God.
Right. Hey, guy. How's it going? Okay. Hey, I hope you like the beer. Oh, I see you crushed the can. You shouldn't be littering. You want another beer?
Oh, I have another beer. We have another beer. Here. Take the other beer. Take the other beer.
Here you go, guy.
Yeah.
Here you go, big man. All right. Hey, you enjoy. Bigfoot. You're not really a chatty type, are you? You mostly just want to be out in the woods drinking. I can relate to that.
He seems like he's communicating. Am I crazy? Is he communicating through body language? Like he seems like he understands you.
Yeah, I think he's gesturing. Okay, I don't, my sign language is a little rusty. Okay, all right. Okay, he's asking if you have any cores.
I don't think we do have cores.
I'm sorry, buddy. All we have is MGD. No, please come back.
Oh God, I guess he does have some taste.
Okay, I'll give him credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our show! Our special thanks to all of our performers tonight. Thanks to everyone who has tuned in. We'll be back next Wednesday at 7 Central, 8 Eastern with more comedy, more stand-up, more improv. In the meantime, this pandemic is not even remotely near over, especially because we are anticipating a 4th wave. Please, stay home if you don't have to be anywhere. Please wash your hands. Please stay a minimum 6 feet away from strangers and acquaintances. Please wear a mask. In the meantime, believe